The Commanders beating the Falcons on Sunday night gave them 11 wins in a regular season for the first time since 1991, the last time the franchise won the Super Bowl. And what makes it even better is they did it in 16 games. There's no caveats about it now being a 17-game season, and it makes it easier to compare things to years past. At this point, there's really no question this is the best regular season team Washington has had since that 91 season, which was 33 years ago. Basically, two generations of fans have never seen something like this before, including myself, which is crazy to think about. I honestly think we can go further than that, though, and say this team also has the highest ceiling entering the playoffs. It's not just the wins that tell you that. They also have the best point differential since 91 at plus 90. That 91 team was plus 261, which goes to show how dominant they were. But this year's team is at least a step above any of the other teams that we've seen in the time since. The previous best Washington team since 91 was arguably the 1999 team that had Brad Johnson as quarterback. That team was second in the NFL in offense, both in points scored and yards. This year's team is top 5, but not quite that good. The difference is the 99 team had a terrible defense. They were 24th in points and 30th in yards. This year's team is very good on offense, and they're also an average defensive team. They are 19th in points allowed and 9th in yards allowed, which is pretty solid all things considered. I also, and this may be easy to say now, but I think this team has a better chance of actually doing something in the playoffs than any other team we've seen over the past few decades. Now, some of those teams were rolling when the playoffs started, but the 2012 team, for instance, had a banged up Robert Griffin III at quarterback. We didn't know what would happen next, but I don't think anyone thought a deep playoff run was possible that year because of his injury. In 2020, they had no chance, obviously, again, due to quarterback injuries. In 2015, Kirk Cousins was on fire, but the team was pretty average across the board. The 99 team had Brad Johnson and Steven Davis and was an offensive juggernaut, but the defense lowered their ceiling a lot. I'd say the highest ceiling for the playoffs before this year might be 2005 when they had Joe Gibbs as coach, Mark Brunell at quarterback, and a top 10 defense. They did end up winning a playoff game, the only time that's happened this century. But this team has Jayden Daniels, and I think it's pretty clear he changes a lot. And not only in the long term, but in the short term too. I can't imagine anyone wants to see this guy in the playoffs because it's obvious he's a superstar and this team has a real chance to go on a run for the first time in a long time.